Welcome new intern Wojak. Do you have any ideas for the new Sacred 2 remaster?
Thank you all for your time. I believe that, instead of just another quick cash grab, we could create a remaster of Sacred 2 that truly honors the original and delights the fans.
Oh come on Wojak. We're here to make money, not to win popularity contests.
Yeah, let's be real. We want quick returns, not a passion project.
And so, the intern's dream of a beloved remaster was crushed under the weight of corporate greed.
If you want to know if Sacred 2 Demaster is worth your money, watch the comparison section that's coming up. The shareholders at THQ are punching the air right now. Let's begin.
W's in the shot.
For this section, I'm going to complete one quest on both games. I simply need to go and collect 3 amulets and bring it back to some dude in the village. So I'm going to start with the OG gold version first. And then once I finish the quest, I'll show you how much better it actually is on the new remastered version. So the OG version is actually super buggy because even in the main menu before I've created a character, my game crashed when I clicked the load previous save game button when I don't have a save file yet. Okay, whatever. Moving on, I create my character and wow, look at these dated graphics, but just keep in mind that this version was released in 2008, so I'm not expecting photorealistic graphics for this version. That will come when I test the remaster. Anyway, the in-game cutscenes, look how I actually remember them, but wait a minute, did you see that? Wait, pause, rewind, enhance. A quick T-pose before she bites the dust, huh?
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Okay then. I suppose I'm going to be seeing a ton of bugs in the older version. But the one thing that stands out once you gain control of your character is the old school UI from this gold version. It's super simple and looks like some stock UI you would make if you are new at making video games and you don't understand user experience. One thing I never liked about the old UI is that when you mouse over your HP bar, it never shows you exact HP. I'm so glad that they fixed this in the remaster. Anyway, after fighting the first few enemies, I actually thought that I was going insane. Mainly because I never took my meds this morning, but also because it was extremely difficult to target enemies. It was really fucking challenging just to get my character to attack, because it was as if the old version's hitboxes are the size of a peanut. I have to precisely click on the center mass of a target just to get my hero to register that I want to attack. Another annoying problem with the combat with the gold version is that if you left click to attack and you hold your mouse button in and you move the mouse away from your target, it doesn't stay locked on the target and keep attacking like in, every other ARPG created. It will now disengage combat and start running to wherever my mouse is, and oh, and sorry, look, OBS doesn't record my mouse, so it might be difficult for me to show you this specifically, but trust me, bro. Anyway, I wanted to mess around with some graphic settings some more, and when I clicked the apply button, the whole game crashed. So don't change any settings in-game, well, at least in the old version. Another annoying thing is when I press Alt to view what is on the ground, like loot, it shows my name in this annoying big box and it's so ugly, but I think they did fix that in the remastered, so we'll have a look at that in a bit. So walk into the quest giver, my game also randomly despawns all the foliage around me for a split second. I can totally see why this game specifically needed a remaster, because this is getting bad. Anyway, I got to the quest and I made it to the rocky area where the lost amulets are, so I went and grabbed them. I simply teleported back to the stone and I ran a few meters into the village and I gave in the quest. Complete. There we go, done. Now let's boot up the remastered version and do the same thing. The first thing I noticed is that Mommy Seraphim no longer drops a sick T-pose before piecing out of this world, and the UI looks way cleaner and streamlined. I like this way better. Plus, I can also see my HP whenever I mouse over my HP bar in this remastered version. I love it. I'm very happy with that. Moving on to the combat, it's so much easier to click on enemies. It's like they overhauled the hitboxes so that they are actually the right size, and it makes clicking on bad guys a breeze. And finally, when I click and hold my mouse button down, no matter where my mouse is on screen, my hero will always lock on and attack that target until they are dead. Thank you, Remastered. This is perfection. And look how lush and plentiful the grass is. It's so much better in the remastered. Plus, none of the vegetation decided to vanish on me in this version. I guess the devs actually put a ton of work into making this game the ultimate version that you need to buy. Truly, I haven't run into any issues so far. Anyway, I grab the quest and I head to the rocky area and I pick up the 3 amulets that I need. Plus, when I press Alt now, just look how nice the nameplate is. Look how great the remaster made it versus the original. So I head back to town, I hand in the quest. Complete. There we go. Done. Man, are we actually living in a world where remasters improve a game? I'm in shock. I can't believe it. Now that you have seen both games in action firsthand, it's clear that the remaster is better, right? Hold on. I have a confession to make. I lied to all 10 of you who are about to see this video. The first run I did, with all the bugs and glitches, was not the original gold version.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It was the remastered. And the optimized version at the end was, with all the amazing grass and shit, high resolution textures and bug fixes, is in fact the gold version.
You sure about that?
Yep. Let that sink in. The slop at the start was a lazy excuse for a remaster. My original gold version has a few mods that make it 1,000 times better. I'm using the Elite Textures pack along with the community patch. This adds major code and engine improvements. It also fixes previously broken mechanics like camera issues in boss fights and melee combo bugs. Also fixes performance and compatibility tweaks for modern hardware, making it easier to run with less hassle on modern systems. And it also restores a ton of content, like items, quests, spells, and different creatures. It adds new portals, new mounts, and it fixes enemy gear setups so that progression feels more balanced and complete. It fixes tons of UI bugs and creature behaviors, and this is all just from a few mods. I also use the Purist Fix Pack and the Enhanced Edition mod. Now, I won't bore you with more info dumps, but everything combined that I have installed overhauls the game and creates the perfect Sacred 2 experience for new and old players alike. And guess what? It's all free. No need to pay these reads at THQ.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Okay, so now that you know that the remastered version is, so far what I've shown you, objectively worse than the original gold version, a few days before release of the remaster, THQ quietly removed the OG gold version from being purchasable on Steam. It used to cost about $2 before. Now they actually force you to buy the gold version bundled with the remaster for about $11 USD. This is not a new practice from these cucklords. THQ is owned by the Embracer Group, and both companies operate with the same disgusting financial motives. THQ's whole strategy is to aggressively acquire IPs en masse. Okay, this soulless corporation and the lackeys that run it only care about the bottom line. They don't care about the studios or the IPs that they absorb. The only thing that they care about is the bottom line. Okay, they only care about exploiting nostalgia for a quick buck. Okay, they also don't care about diluting the brands that they own. It's all about quantity over quality. There was a user I saw on RPG Codex. He wrote something that I found interesting. He basically said that THQ Nordic feels like a scam. They buy every IP they can find just to inflate their stock price, and then they cash out when the profits don't materialize. It looks great to investors on paper while they are growing so fast, but once they hit their limit and they have to show their results, and I doubt they'll have anything to show except a pile of red numbers. But what does this all mean for us, the consumer? It means that a quality revival is something that's probably never going to happen, because THQ will always focus on brand leverage and less on innovation and risk taking. Which means we get a shittier remaster or remake. This is why I have zero expectations for the Gothic remake. The studio behind the game has never even made a video game before. Okay, anyway, not everything at THQ that they've released was complete trash. I did enjoy the Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, and the new Titan Quest 2 looks promising, but I'm not holding my breath. In fact, I might actually even review it soon and let you guys know how it holds up, but the whole early access thing, bruh, it screams risk averse. Okay, so let's get back to Sacred 2 Demastered. My whole goal for the rest of this video is to get my mount, and if I remember correctly, that's in chapter 2, I think. So the plan is to create a summoner class and have my minions do all the work while I AFK and watch YouTube. Okay, well, I guess summons don't even want to play this game, because both the Shadow Warrior and Dragon Priest, the summons are broken and don't want to do fuck all. So I guess I'm forced to play this game with another class.
А що, мені дивиться, як вона їсть шоколад, я теж може хочу шоколад, блін. Задумала, блін, мені дуже шоколад.
In that case, you know what, I'm going to pick the Dryad. I want to use bow and arrow playstyle, just like how I remembered it when I was a kid. I also remembered that they get a cool lizard mount, and that's what I want. So, you know what, let's start. So I make my way through the first chapter fairly quickly. It took me only about 2 hours. I kind of speedrun it. I didn't do any of the side content, but I did encounter a plethora of bugs. In such a short span of time it took me to get here. You know what, now I will do a quick little montage showing you the bugs just a bit later. Just hold on, let me just do a quick montage showing me running around and getting my mount, because I don't want to waste your time anymore. Anyway, so I finally got it, and it's super cool. You know, this was actually one of the first ARPGs that I can remember where you can actually get a mount. I don't actually remember anything before this game. I might be wrong though, but anyway, They not only give you movement speed bonuses, but they also boost your aspects depending on which mount you pick. So instead of just being cosmetic coolness, they were actually practical. You know, maybe THQ could start selling these in the Sacred store. Yo, watch all the suits scramble to write that down. I jest. Okay, but overall the game was great in 2008 and it's great today. Does this Demaster suck balls? Fuck yes it does. Does the game suck? Hell no, this is a cult classic. The biggest reason to buy this Demaster, if you absolutely need to have controller support, then that would be the main reason to get it. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, the biggest reason not to buy this game is the fact that they blatantly removed major core elements from the game. And you know what that is? Free play. Okay, maybe some of you have never played Sacred before. What does that even mean? Okay, well, listen. You can no longer boot up a world outside of your campaign and free roam and do quests and farm bosses that drop insanely good loot. You can only now kill bosses once in your campaign and never again. Free play was the end game for Sacred 2. It was the whole fucking reason to even play the game after your campaign. Since you refarm bosses, you can do some quests over with some cool that have some cool rewards. You can't do that anymore. This severely limits not only replayability, but build diversity and experimentation. This is the equivalent of leaving out the mapping system in Path of Exile. I mean, think about how dumb that sounds. So now you can't farm bosses over and over for loot like, you know, in all ARPGs in existence. This version is such a disappointment and I hate it. And I hate the people who thought this shit was okay. I've heard rumors on some Steam discussions that the reason was either that there was either no more funds for the devs or they didn't have the entire code base, so parts of the game had to be rebuilt from the ground up. Now personally I don't know what to believe, but it does make sense because that it would explain why certain parts of the game feel completely different, like the controls and the targeting system. Oh, and by the way, they removed LAN from the game, so you can forget about playing this offline with your bros. It's just another way to force you to make sure you own a copy on Steam. They also removed the lobby system, which is like a browser basically, so you can't browse for public games anymore at all. So sorry for you, sucker. The only way for you to play with people is to invite your friends on Steam. No longer can you meet and play with randoms from all over the world. They also removed PvP, so there goes any fun you could have by testing your build against a buddy for fun. And, yes, here's another one, it keeps going. If you buy it on console, I'm sorry for you, loser, you don't have local couch co-op like they did back in the 360 era. Okay, so I'm gonna rapid fire just a few more other features that they either nerfed or removed, okay? For no other reason other than fuck you, that's why. Okay, here we go. Combat art slots, weapon slots, potion slots and relic sets all reduced. Smaller inventory grid. Menu limitations like having only your inventory or character screen open one at a time. Ruin stacking gone. Can't move your character while the inventory is open. Hovering over a character's stats gone. Options to remove weather effects gone. AI upscaled icons. Life leech mechanic was changed to be complete garbage, and it also breaks all the mods. So we better just pray and hope that the community is even active to this day and is willing to do something about this game. I don't see the reason why, because Sacred 2 Gold with mods is the ultimate edition. It is the remaster. So, in my opinion, do not give these empty suits your money. You can easily get this game for free with all the necessary mods bundled in if you sail the high seas. Or you can also grab the gold edition on key sites like G2A for like, I think $3. I looked recently, it was on special for like $2. Okay, so before I go, I want you to now enjoy this bug that crashes my game 100% of the time if I left click the top of my window of Sacred 2 Demastered. Thanks for watching.